Okay, so tell me what you observed. What you observed. And this is just about the coaching technique. What did you see? Yes.
I saw complete restraint on your part. I was dying to throw out answers or things that she said, something that I saw she was seeing, but I didn't see that. She said she can't speak, but I hear her speak. She comes to Toastmasters and she shows us she can speak, but she's believing the lies that she's speaking out of her mouth.
Right.
Don't believe those lies.
Sometimes you have to let people say things. Now, if we'd have been in an hour-long coaching session or whatever, I could have done that. But the reality of it is that she was on these pictures, right? And so one of the things we do too is we follow the energy, you know. And so she was on this picture thing. So people will go down, have 6 different bunny trails you can pick from. Okay, if you ever been at the fork in the woods, we can go down that bunny trail or that bunny trail or that bunny trail. So I decided that the energy, and it's all intuition or a guess or a hot mess or whatever, but we went down the picture trail, right? Okay, and so we went down the picture trail, and you can't tell people they're thinking wrong. They have to figure out for themselves that they're thinking wrong. Does that make sense? So like a lot of times you'll go to a career transition group or something like this, and they will tell you, this is how you need to think, this is not how you need to be. But it's all good, but it's going to wash off just a minute we get in the car and something bad happens. We won't believe all the great stuff we just heard. So somebody's got to open up our thinking. Okay, so what questions did you hear? Did anybody write down questions? Yes?
It was amazing how you helped her to bring out her thoughts.
The question was?
The question, like, tell me about your imperfection.
Yeah, she says, it's the perfection thing I have going on.
Right.
And I said, well, tell me about that. Because it's too easy to just gloss over that, because how many of you can relate to that? How many of you all are trying to be perfect out here? All right, well, that's a lost cause. Yes. And we all know that in our intellect, but do we know it in our emotional intellect? And so she doesn't know it in her emotional intellect quite yet, but now she just got in touch with it. It made her cry, right? Mm-hmm. It either makes her sad, mad, or glad that she is still trying to be perfect, right? And then the one thing that's a coaching technique, but it's down the road, is this idea of an image. I mean, if you're curious, you'll get pictures of things in your head, right? Back to dreams, but you got to be open to seeing the dreams and I don't know if that pendulum thing landed for her, but it's like she says, I'm trying to be perfect, and I go goofy. Yeah, it was good. Do you see, like, she is like in this big swing, and so it's like, what would it be like if you're just right here? And that is the questioning. What would it be like?
That was the balance.
That's a balance question. That's right. So you're trying to get them focused, you're trying to get them balanced, you're trying to get them to do something. Okay? And at the end, I said, what would it be like if you made lots of money on these cards? What would it be like for your children and your son and your daughter? And she said what? Huge. Which is last thing. Celebration. Right? You always leave them with a celebration question. It would be awesome. It would be huge. Huge. Okay? All right, let's stop right there. I'm going to leave you at huge. Mm-hmm. Got it? Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, I thought it was good how you led saying, because I think a lot of us sometimes if we're dreaming about something that we want to do, it was like you were visioning whether if you were bolder, what would your next step be? Yeah. And so, because I think sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to go down that path because we've been stopped before, whether it be by our imperfection or something. But when you said, if you were, basically, if you were this person that was like, what you would like to be, what would you do? So it was like you were pushing that vision further.
Yeah, and notice her word was bold. So I didn't just come out with this big question, what would it be like if you were bold? Because that's not a genuine, curious question. She said, I wish I was bolder, or something like that. And then I said, well, what would it, just lean in, you know, help people unfold. Okay, a lot of times we talk in coaching about unfolding people, you know, because here's what we look like. You're hiding from the world. Okay, so I can get her to go like this, go like this, go like this, like this. And you're doing good work, yes.
I can't wait to see what she thinks of the coaching session on video, to see herself unfolding in that chair.
You taped it?
I sure did.
Don't you dare publicize that.
I'll be on Facebook right here.
2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say that I saw you lead her from a quandary to the solution of a big problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't. Okay. See,
Through questions.
yeah. So like, I'm gonna be really transparent here and say, okay. So here's what I want to say to you. This is the consultant coming out. You want to hear this, or you want me to leave you alone?
No, go ahead. I'm ready.
Should you leave the room? Because here's the deal. Okay, I just went to the Center for Creative Leadership. Was it been a year ago for the Seminar for Tomorrow's Leaders? The Center for Creative Leadership is the #1 leadership guru hangout on the planet. It's in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay, so I go there, and they have all these tools, Suzanne. Okay, and one of them's called Visual Explorer. And what they have done is that they have taken pictures, I assume, like just off the internet or out of National Geographic or however they got the right, off of Fotolia, all the things you know about, and they put them in a card deck in a nice tin can. And it is an amazing tool. Ask Lisa Barnett. She'll tell you it changes teenagers' lives. And so we use this tool called Visual Explorer. Now, people can go purchase that, and I highly suggest they do. But if I have to guess what your stuff is that you have sat and really thought about this picture. I mean, I would love to see them. I'm a little jealous you hadn't sent me one, but you know, what that looks like for focus. And if you had a totally coaching set of cards, I don't know that anybody's got that. But here's what I do know. I do know that people get on the Center for Creative Leadership website and buy this box of cards, and they're like $200.
And that's exactly where my mind has been going, is should I create merchandising material from, because I have like Fruits of the Spirit, and I have the Words of Wisdom, and I've created like a whole sets of cards.
She just asked us all a question, and let's all answer in unison.
Yes.
Share it on Toastmaster, you know, the Facebook, so we can see your.
It is it's outside the box leadership. It's in my photo file, and that's what I lead people to. I said, and if you don't see a word there that is fitting with what you're trying to lead with, I'll create it. And so with her words, even today, I just decided I'm going to create recognition and significance. That's not in my group.
Okay, so what would it be like, coaching question, to take Shari's 9 words, call her up, not as a goofball and not as a perfectionist, but this woman in the middle who loves coaching and loves Jesus and who wants to serve the world with the highest form of herself. You call her up and you say, you know, how much speaking are you doing? She says, I got at least 4 gigs a month. And you say, what would it be like if I put together 9 cards that came in a little deck, and you and I sold them at every one of your speaking gigs? What would that be like? Okay, now that's a very leading question. Okay? Yes. And on the outside back of the cards, you know, like on the back of the deck of cards, it says the Transformer. There's this picture of her in her shoes, and you know, and she hands these out at everything. And on the bottom, it says, you know, produced and created by Suzanne.
That's anointed.
Amen. Well, I did the 21
and then
laws.
you go and you do the vibrant. Well, make me a deck of cards, girlfriend.
Well, I would like. Well, that's what I was telling. Go, girl. Well, that's what I did. The 21 irrefutable laws. Everyone that came around the irrefutable laws. I created cards, and they love them, and they're using them. And I was trying to get to John Maxwell, because there's licensing involved, for me to make a printed deck for them to actually hand out. Because when they do their mastermind, people would love to have all 21 cards. And so I just.
So what is your next right step to get a copyright